Break the dam. Release all of the Epstein files.
What's up, guys? Benny. In case you thought this Epstein debate couldn't get more retarded, here we have Chuck Schumer saying that Joe Biden is now covering up the Epstein files. Listen to this.
I know, just I guess a question that's out there. Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding? Why doesn't he want them released?
Joe Biden? Dude, that's kind of mean. Isn't Joe Biden have terminal cancer? Like, chill out, bro. Like, I mean, we are run by the olds. We have a gerontocracy, ladies and gentlemen, and that gerontocracy can't keep their facts straight. And, well, sometimes things get a little messy. And this Epstein saga has been messy, and I have taken a principled stance on all of this. Never carried water for anybody, never betrayed the audience, never said anything that we didn't 100% believe, and we 100% believe that this was totally and completely mishandled. President Trump is now calling for the total and complete release of all the Epstein files. I mean, obviously this was the right answer from the beginning. Yeah, it's going to happen. Congress is going to vote to do this, and I think that that vote's going to be bipartisan, and a lot, I think it's going to win. But, like, you could have just done it yourself and then controlled the narrative. This has been an unnecessary backfire. Trump slams Epstein distraction. I agree. But it's only a distraction because the White House is, I think, made it a distraction unnecessarily. I'm just like, I don't know. It's not me, It's not up to me. Not up to me. But they did something great with the Kennedy files. They just kind of like released them all. I would love to see this process play out with the January 6th files, obviously, the pipe bomber files, the Trump assassination files. It's just like, these are things that you're going to have to do in order to restore trust. But Trump is now straight up saying that he has, obviously nothing to hide. He's said this the entire time, and all available evidence points to that. Here's President Trump on Truth Social. As I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One, the fake news media, House Republicans should release all the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide, and it's time to move on from the Democrat hoax. Yes, but it didn't need to be a Democrat hoax. It should have been done right away. I just think should be a great lesson for everyone, frankly. And the Democrats, by the way, have released their own. They've selectively released their own emails, and it's all horribly backfired. They've hit themselves in the nuts every single time. It's backfired on other Democrats. Great Republican Party, including our recent victory of the Democrat shutdown. Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein and looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, and Larry Summers, and their relationships with Epstein. And House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. I don't care. Donald Trump says he cares about all the victories for America here. And then saying some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, which is, again, a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again. I mean, he's right. He's right. Trump posted this. If Jeffrey Epstein had any dirt on Donald Trump, he would have had great leverage in a criminal case against him at the time that he died. And the fact that he was unequivocally said he had none ought to shut down all of the false claims otherwise. But facts are an obstacle to political attacks. So this is something that is critical. Jeffrey Epstein was offered when he was sitting there on, let's just say, death row, right? They were going to go kill him. He was asked, and this is quite public because it's in the actual records, do you have anything on Trump? Do you have any information on Trump? Give us some info on Trump. Keep you alive. And he said no. Dude said no. You can see in the emails that he released that the only girl he was ever around was Virginia Roberts. And that's somebody who obviously was an Epstein abuse victim and trafficking victim. Okay? Virginia Roberts has said in sworn testimony, under oath, in her book, to the media, that Donald Trump never did anything wrong. She used to work for Donald Trump. And you really think that they would have not released some dirty Epstein file on Trump when he was running for president again in 2024? It defies all logic or any common sense. So President Trump is now saying out with it. I wish that they had taken this tact from the beginning, but whatever, whatever, fine. Let's expose everything, bring justice, expose dark deeds, move on stronger. Good. Everyone seems to be saying, good, huge development, long-running scandal. Trump says release all the files. Trump, okay, enough distractions. Libs, he deleted the Epstein files. You can't win. Anybody with half a brain can see this. Only retards that suffer from terminal TDS believe that Trump had something to do with the Epstein BS. It's true. I just wish that they would have handled it a little differently. It's funny. Like, again, they asked all these victims, all these Epstein victims, if they had ever seen Donald Trump do anything bad or naughty or ever even heard of it. And they said no. This is like after deposition. Democrats right now, after Trump calls for the release of the Epstein files. Democrats spent years trying to spin that Trump was implicated in the Epstein files. The new emails reveal that Epstein despised, feared Trump, and was directly assisting Dems to take Trump down, including but not limited to texting Democrat members of Congress while they were in like depositions, while they were literally in the halls of Congress, texting Jeffrey Epstein. House Democrats exchanged texts with Epstein on how to hurt Trump during congressional hearing. Reporters will be banging on her office door, swarming the halls of Congress, asking her about texting with Jeffrey Epstein, right? Nope. Of course not. Of course not. Goodness. New Epstein files show Representative Stacey Plaskett, truly the nastiest and dumbest member of Congress. It's really saying a lot, but she's not even a real member of Congress. She's from the Virgin Islands, so she doesn't even get to vote. Anyway, she got a real-time help via text message from Jeffrey Epstein on how to hurt Trump during her congressional hearing. Plaskett is the person who smeared us during the Twitter files hearing falsely. Wow. Anyway, President Trump in the Oval Office saying, well, exactly what's true, which is that Democrats have a real problem here, and that it's, in fact, them who are going to suffer the very most when the Epstein files are released.
Mr. President, you clarified something you posted on Truth Social last night. You urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman. You look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton. They went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. You know, with Kennedy, we gave everything and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages, 50,000 pages. And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. But they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party, including the fact that the Democrats are totally blamed for the shutdown. You know, they cost our country hundreds of billions of dollars with that, at a lot of inconvenience. So I'm for I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because, honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time. Yeah,
Mr. President,